Right now, I'm gonna show you how to prepare the brine. Brine is a mixture where the brisket or the corned beef will be soaked for 3, 5, or 7 days in order to have the finished product of corned beef and the next procedure. But for now, this is the brine ingredients. All of the spices, I will put that in a 4 cups of water, let it boil, and after let it cool. Once it's cooled down, of course, this must be washed before you dump or put it into the cold brine mixture, and you leave that for 3 days or 5 days or 7 days, and that is the brine preparation. Welcome to Museum Holic. I'm your host, Ann Pasek, and I am back for another episode for national dish slash traditional dish or staple food. But this time I'll be making Reuben Sandwich. And why did I choose Reuben Sandwich? Well, you'll find out. Reuben is one of the best sandwich in America, and I choose this because of the history. And here, as you can see, I have a small pan and the bigger pan, the deep skillet. It's because I wanted to melt a little bit the Swiss cheese before I put this on top of the rye bread. So I leave that in here. So I preheat the pan around 10 minutes, no butter in it. While I'm here, I'll start assembling the Reuben sandwich. So I will put the homemade Russian dressing. I'll put this in here. I like to put a lot and just lather it all over. I'd like to put both sides. And now I will have to put the corned beef, homemade corned beef. I'd like to cover entirely the bread. And then, of course, the sauerkraut. I love sauerkraut very much. I learned to eat sauerkraut when I was in Poland. And this one, it's not homemade. I would like to do a homemade sauerkraut, but I don't have the time, so I just bought this in a Russian store, in a European store. Sorry, I'm having trouble pronouncing now the word. So I covered it up all the way, and then here is the melted Swiss cheese, and I will So I use the spoon, or I use this one in order to scoop the melted cheese. I shouldn't be doing this to melt the cheese, but I prefer to. And you can do whatever you want. And in here I'm gonna cover the sandwich. I press that, and here we go. Dressings comes out, and I put this on a pan, grill it for a bit. The pan is also preheat for 10 minutes or 15 minutes because there's no oil in it or there's no butter. I can use the grilled machine or anything like a cast iron grill pan, but because I don't want to deal about the Teflon material, or especially the cast iron pan, it's still, I don't want to deal with it. So I use what I have in here because my pan is a high-end stainless steel pan, and that's, I use whatever I have here in the house. So I'll just gonna press it until around 5 minutes, or it could be, flip it on the other side. So as you can see here, or you can hear, it's crisp when I press it down. So that means that the bread is really warm and crunchy a little bit when you bite it. And another more 3 minutes, and then that's it. You have the homemade Reuben sandwich. And the best Reuben sandwich that you can get, of course, in the United States, and there's a lot of places that where you can get the best one. And I will put some of the link, which is my personal selection. Check the description link below, and of course you have your choice which one you want to go and visit and taste. Reuben sandwich, signature of America, or staple food of America. And here is the Reuben sandwich, a homemade one. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, if you don't want to spend the time making the corned beef homemade, of course, you just have to go to some places does make really good Reuben sandwich. But I just want to make this video for museum-holic, national dish, and traditional dish in United States of America. And as I mentioned earlier, that there isn't national dish or staple food of America, because there are 5 food that I will consider that America is best known for, that when you hear this food, of course they will think that it is an American food. This is what is the Reuben sandwich. I made it from the scratch because this is what I wanted to do. And here you can see 2 dressing. This one I made it. It's a Russian dressing, and I'll give you the ingredients, or you can choose Thousand Islands. And of course, sauerkraut, one of my favorite, and of course the homemade corned beef, and Swiss cheese, and rye bread. You can use any kind of bread or any rye bread. This one is the dark rye bread. So basically I'll be using the Russian dressing that goes along with it. So that will be my Reuben sandwich. And by making the Russian dressing, I used ketchup, horseradish, cayenne pepper. This is optional if you want a paprika. Of course, pepper, mayonnaise with olive oil, and Worcestershire sauce. And the cheese I use is just a basic cheese that you can find, Swiss cheese. And this is the type of bread that I use. So for the Russian dressing, you can mix all of that, except if you don't want to use this, if it's too much spice already, because of the horseradish. The horseradish will give a little bit of kick taste to it, and that's why I prefer the homemade Russian dressing instead of using the Thousand Island. So you have the option. Therefore, this is my Reuben Sandwich homemade in Museum Holic. This is what happened when after making national dishes. It is so good and so yummy. I wish I could share this to you guys, but it is yum. Just the corned beef alone. Coming up, it's the national dish of Canada, poutine.